Is this on YouTube then, or is it just... Very good.
Mike Hennessey's Positivity Podcast from Fermoy, County Cork.
Hello and welcome back to the podcast. Today I'm with my guest, who's a very interesting person, I can tell you. So it's Mike Lyons. He's a high performance athlete. He's a successful business person. He's a super educated, qualified person, and he's a great family man. And he's a guy I've known for quite a long time. And I suppose I'm very excited to get a half an hour to ask him a few questions and just to have a chat and about, I suppose, about Fermoy. And welcome to the show, Mike, and thanks for coming in.
Thanks, Mike. That was a great introduction. Kind of got me on the hop there now.
I'm not sure what to say to people. You know what I mean? I suppose I've known you like not all my life, but I've known you since, we'll say, I first got to know you when I think you might have been getting into triathlons. Maybe I knew you before then, but I remember I was trying to remember, and I was bike racing, and part of your triathlon, I suppose, was to go to the bike races and do a bit of bike racing, and that's when I first spotted you.
Yeah.
And I noticed that there was a couple of dudes around, and I'll leave you answer the question now in a minute. Sorry, but there was a few people around. I want to leave the guests kind of know how I know you, if that makes sense. And so there was a few of you there, and there was yourself and your brother and Stephen Barrett are the guys I remember. I'm sure there was loads of other guys as well, and you tell me hopefully, but and then I see you at one or two races, and I went, Jesus, these fucking guys are fucking like, I was on my own buzz now, I couldn't give a shit about you, do you know what I mean? But I was like, these guys are fucking serious dudes, like, do you know what I mean? And you were the first people that I knew who I'm sure there was loads before, and loads, but you were the first people that I knew who did multi-sport triathlon sport. That's the first, you were the first person, you were the first group of lads that I knew anyway.
Yeah.
Would you mind telling me about that, or maybe that? Sorry.
You're right.
Thanks,
no,
Mike.
it's good. Let me think. So 2004, I did my first triathlon in Kilkee. So triathlon had always been around, and in Ireland.
Okay.
It's gone from the 80s and the 90s. But it was very niche, I suppose, and very small sport.
For sure.
Then
in Ireland, it was a small sport, but it was still fairly. Would it still have been in USA, for example, right in the 80s that triathlon Ironman fucking was a buzz in.
On TV shows, there was a show like an hour, and then it would show a bit about triathlon, and you're like, what is this sport like? You know, swimming, biking, running. Oh, imagine like you're all wet and you're on a bike. Like, how crazy is that? Like you know, and then you go from the bike and then the run. You know, it's all together, and it's a real kind of, you're a real, like I wrote down you're a high performance athlete, but I'm not under fucking like said he is a high performance athlete, like from what age were you then when I met you? I remember a particular race where I met you and Stephen were racing, but when you were young lads starting out Ironman, what age were you then? Sorry, that's the question. What age were you then? Junior. I was junior.
Which is under 18.
Yeah, 18. Yeah.
And before then, what was can you tell me what was your sporting background before you got to that 17, 18, if you don't mind as well?
Everything in the town.
Yeah.
GAA soccer, everything. Gravitated towards the rowing club at teenager. Spent 4 or 5 years rowing quite a bit.
Yeah. I never knew that. So this is why these interviews are so interesting to me, because sorry, go on.
That's where the structure came in to my week, and structured training, and being taught like how to think of the session that's ahead of you, and you know, you'd spend the whole day at school going, okay, now tonight I'm going to be on the erg, and it's 3 10-minute efforts, and you know, or we're going to do circuit training or whatnot.
Such a discipline. Go on.
Huge discipline. And then the boys are, we're going to train before school, you know, we're going to train after school, you know, and all that.
Were you went to Coleman's, right?
I went to St. Coleman's,
And were you training before school when you went to St. Coleman's at that age?
Yeah, at transition year.
So you're fucking...
It was just out of habit and being able to do it. How to have it. You made the habit, Mike. I mean, you're unbelievable. Like, and has that? Sorry, I'm going to keep interrupting because this is what I'm like. Sorry, you know what I'm like. Sure, see, it's only a continuation of conversations that we always have in the white shop.
Like,
it's just now there's a camera on us and it's different, but it's the same.
I'm going to try and forget the camera.
Well, it is fucking, isn't? We're doing our best, and it's real TV. Like it's real, uncut, raw. It's what people really like. Because everyone can find their kind of what they like, and anyway, but sorry, your discipline. Sorry, I don't know where I was going, but your discipline from then has that carried you through? Like, are you still?
Yeah.
You're a really disciplined guy, aren't you? Or not a really disciplined guy, but you're a really serious guy. Like you're so good. Like you when it comes to education. Like, I bet you put it all into education and became really well qualified, didn't you? Like,
I mean, those traits carry.
Those traits. Sorry, you're.
I mean, like I think the rowing club in the town. It brought a lot of discipline and structure and X, Y, and Z. If you do these things, you know it's the equation. And you get results. I don't think I was naturally talented. Like, this natural talent that people go on about was never there for me. I mean, it was, you'd rock up to cross country races with the schools and you're out the back, you weren't
just work.
You just work great. Yeah. So anything that I've known is, if you put in the work. And if you turn up. And if you're consistent. Consistent is the word. Like, you know.
Consistency.
20 years, 25, 30 years at it now, and I'm like, oh no, it's consistency. It's key. You know, it's consistent at eating well. It's consistent at sleeping well.
Lifestyle. Your whole balance. Lifestyle, kind of, I suppose, marries into the things that you do, isn't it? Like, so if you're into sport, if you're into, we'll say, going to your marathon, then the whole family perhaps might even go to the actual. The marathon over in Barcelona or something like that, and you might have something like that, or if you're going to a cross country race, you know what I mean, you might do it with some family members or something like that in the sport, and then we'll say your business, we'll say, you might have members of your family involved with you in the business and stuff like that, so you're marrying everything together, and your whole lifestyle is built around and working with the things that you're into as well a little bit, would it be?
As best you can. It's family, it depends. We go through phases.
Everything's different.
In that thing then as well, there was an 8-year period where nothing was done in terms of sport. Because I was focused on academics and I was focused on that work. And it took COVID to realise, going, hey, hang on a minute. What you had going back there in your early 20s and training and and all that. Like, I was missing all that. And then, daydreaming about wouldn't it be just great to be running a cross country race again?
Oh really?
Would you be so far away from? No,
I just so far removed, Mike. Is it only since that period that you're back being a high performance athlete again?
Well, I mean, I know I'm
using that word.
I know you're using that a bit.
Sorry for saying stupid words. I say stupid things, but you know what I mean. Don't take notice of all the words.
I suppose I'm really into it. And I suppose, but there's loads of people out there that would meet that criteria as high performance athlete. Because
I don't think high performance. I don't mean it in the sense that the guy who always gets the fucking first place. I just mean that you take it serious. And that you train and that you you dedicate and you put a bit into it, and then you take it serious,
I take it serious.
Of course you fucking do. You want to win the race, or you want to get the whatever the win is to you, and is it, do you want to, or no?
No, the balance.
I'm telling you, I should be asking you, not telling you.
The balance. It has to be a balanced approach.
You ain't no fucking fun runner, Mike. You're not a fucking fun runner, you know what I mean? I know you as well, if you're into something,
I suppose we're always looking ahead of ourselves as well. It's hard.
The way you know what I mean? You are a serious athlete anyway. And would you mind telling me a little bit about your business in Fermoy? Sorry now.
No, it's no problem.
Thanks very much.
So I suppose by way of background, I'm from Fermoy. Went to St. Coleman's in Fermoy, and then I went to study pharmacy in England. And I lived there for a couple of years. I lived in Belfast.
And then I
How was Belfast before you go on?
Belfast is
It's
brilliant.
a nice place to...
Yeah, I really enjoyed my 18 months living in Belfast.
Okay, go on, sorry for interrupting.
It's different. I encourage everybody to visit Belfast at least once, because a lot of people don't get to visit. It's only you've never there.
No, that's why you should have.
Yeah, it's definitely very unique.
Is there a university there that you're in?
Yeah, so Queen's University are there. So I did
yeah.
my internship there as a pharmacist.
As a pharmacist.
Yeah, so it's kind of like your training year.
Okay.
Yeah, and then I came back, lived in Cork, and I...
Did you study in Cork ever?
No, never studied in Cork, no.
You studied in
Dublin,
is it?
No, sorry.
Sorry.
You're alright. Pharmacist was all UK training, and then I came back, I worked as a pharmacist.
Yeah.
And I kind of felt like, well, I have a good opportunity now to go back and study law. So I went and studied law in King's Inns in Dublin, and I trained as a barrister there. So I got that bit done, and then an opportunity came up. I was kind of sending out feelers to wholesalers, and a wholesaler contacted me. The wholesaler being
Jesus, mate, just before we go on there, sorry, can I just interrupt you there? Like, can you just go back to like, you just like slipped in that you're a barrister as well. Like, you're a member of the bar or whatever. You're a barrister. Whatever, I don't understand what that means, but
yeah, it's okay.
You're a barrister.
Currently, I'm a non-practicing barrister.
Jesus fuck, dude. And you're a qualified pharmacist. That's I knew you were like a super educated qualified person.
Yeah.
But that's top of the pops, isn't it? As from a lay person like me, that sounds like top of the pops. But just before you go on, I'm asking you about your successful business, but I keep interrupting because obviously the build up to the business is your education, isn't it? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But, well done is all I'm trying to say. I'm not asking you, but fuck the fair fucking play. Like, that's a lot of scholarship and support of your parents and your family and there's a lot into these like certificates. I'd say there's a nice bit going into
those certificates. But like, I suppose the reason I mentioned it, Mike, is because to go back to the days of St. Coleman's and setting out, what you want to do and why you're driven, and going back to the rowing club.
Yeah.
Where we learn these key skills of application.
Your roots.
And going, if you apply yourself.
Yeah.
Because I wasn't applying myself in school, to a degree.
And do you think there was a sport that go on?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
I do. And then it was about getting the balance, and I wasn't getting, I was all in on one thing. I was all in on the sport as a teenager, and I didn't do too good in my first leaving cert.
Okay.
And then I cut out sport and I applied myself academically for the 1 year.
Yeah. And
I did really well in my leaving cert.
Yeah.
Because it's one thing you do need to be able to go and do things, you need a good leaving cert.
Okay.
There's no way around it.
No way around
I thought there would be, but there wasn't.
Yeah.
So, and that was very hard at 19 because you're like developing as an athlete and you're trying to like move on, and you're in the junior ranks, and then you're on the fringes. Let's say I'm on the fringes of like, kind of being, how far can this go, or can I find something good about it, and I knew I wasn't those multitaskers, I think, but I was one of those, if I apply myself I can work through it and I can get
you're a really good guy to focus. Like, we'll say if you're working on something, would you be like really able to monotask? Would you be able to do that? Like, are you good at like kind of, if just focusing in on the job at hand?
Definitely.
There might be a quadrillion jobs going on, but I'm actually I'm not great. I wouldn't be like you now. Like, do you know what I mean? I find it difficult sometimes to just go to work on the bike. We'll say.
Yeah.
Next thing I'd be like, and I'd be.
Yeah.
Whereas I sometimes wish I was more like you, but.
And it takes this discipline. And you kind of like, you have to kind of go, right, I need to just focus on this. And sometimes it's nice, like, and from triathlons, you're getting in, you're swimming, you're biking, or running, and then I love periods of time where I'm just running. And this is my block of running now every morning, and I like to train, I get done. Running takes the least amount of time.
Is running your buzz at the moment?
Yeah, absolutely. Running takes the least amount of time.
Yeah.
So I call it invisible running. That's how I tell people about it. Like, I'm running, it doesn't look like I'm running because I'm back just before the kids are up. So the whole day is ahead of us.
Yeah.
You know, and
the miles that no one sees, the work, the most important work obviously is the work that no one sees.
Yeah.
In everything, isn't it?
Yeah,
In everything, really, like.
And it was someone told me that about like that tip, like don't be announcing, oh I'm going for a run, don't be saying, oh I'm going doing this and that and like that. Just get up early, go do it, get back and be there for.
No one gives a fuck anyway, Mike.
No.
I mean, I'm a big fucking I'm awful bad for it. Like I'm just someone like who fucking like. Who's like I'm a big mouth. I'm a like I don't know what you call myself, but like, do you know what I mean? Like, no one gives a fuck. Like, shut your mouth. Like, I'm telling myself to shut my mouth. I find it hard to like just like.
Yeah.
But that's when the hard good work is done. Like,
yeah,
no one sees.
It gets done because that's the balance done.
In the mornings.
You come back in the evenings, everyone's got work and things to do, and the day gets away from them. Yeah. And then they're like, "Oh, I'll do it in the evening." They get to the evening and they're sitting on the couch, or you know, the kids need to go somewhere, or there's something. House needs to be tidied, you know.
Of course, yeah.
You know, so family is very important. Like that, and getting everyone, and you need to, when you're out running, you need to be in a good place as well.
Yeah.
You know, to run well, you need to be in a good place, and everything has to be going well. So you have to work so hard at that.
You have to work so hard at that.
Yeah.
And you need to be a little bit selfish as well. And you're allowed to be a little bit selfish sometimes with yourself. You know what I mean? You have to be.
Well, every family has those give and takes,
you know?
And dynamics and stuff like that. So we have great support to that.
Yeah, well,
and it's important that everyone is into sport. And my wife, Cara, is into sport.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, she broke her toe 2 weeks ago. And just the following day, she was meant to do a half marathon.
Oh,
and there's a great buzz around the club and the town with loads of people out running. And she did her 10 miles. And the following day she broke her toe, and you know it's tough.
That's tough.
It's tough.
That's tough because it's like, you know, when you're injured, like you know more than anyone, but like you know your routine is broken, isn't it? And we're routine kind of dudes, whether we like it or not. And the older you get, you find you become a little bit. Your morning routine you don't like to be broken anyway, but we wish her well and a speedy recovery for sure, and we all.
So she hope be back at it.
Then
I suppose like you have to then
you've great support anyway. Like the
positive
side. Go back to the thing to your business. Sorry,
yes.
That was the original question. I want to go back to. Would you mind telling us a bit more about the business again? Sorry.
So
downtown. You're
in
town. Pharmacist downtown.
Yeah, and an opportunity came around that I was hoping to open a pharmacy in the town with my brother Brendan, who's also a pharmacist.
Cool.
The two of us, we got 2016, we got the opportunity to open Lyons Family Pharmacy, so we opened that in 2016, and we just kept our head down and worked hard, and the town's been good to us. Our patients are really good to us.
It's a great town.
Brilliant.
Yeah, there's a lot of really nice people, and it's a good town.
Yeah,
it's a good town to do businesses in, Mike, isn't it?
Great town.
Because it's like, I think one of the things, it's an old marked town, and you get there's a lot of villages and great farmland and great farming community around, and they come to Fermoy a lot, and they like the personal service that you and your family, for example, would give them below. It's still a town where you know Mrs. Murphy's prescription or whatever, I bet, you know what I mean, a lot of the time. Obviously there's a lot, but like and isn't it a great town for that? And then there's great industry, there's lots of factories and people working in Fermoy, and there was loads of bigger places and foreign people. It's a great town, like, isn't it? Sorry, you agree, obviously,
absolutely.
To do business in,
but like, notwithstanding that, like, it was hard to persuade the money lenders at the time to say, look, we have a business idea here, it will work.
Yeah.
Because I was even thinking about this the other day, like a lot of when people would be thinking about everything is on paper and accountants are looking at it and going, it won't work, guys. And I was like, look, it will work because we're going to be there.
Yeah.
And we're going to work hard at it.
Yeah.
I don't want to drive an hour each way to set up a business an hour away.
I know.
You know, I was like, there's 10 hours a week, you know, that we're going to put into the business and stuff like that, and work at it. And but like, no one has any given right as a business owner to succeed.
No.
You know, so there's always a risk.
Mike. I understand.
There's always a risk with these businesses, and they're
so
very risky.
Risky because I mean, when you just when you pay your rent, rates and utilities if you're renting or your mortgage, maybe.
Yeah.
But let's just say when I pay my rent, rates and utilities and salary, my own salary would say but Jesus Christ, you gotta sell a lot of bicycles or a lot of like fucking of your products, we'll say, in order to cover that, in order to, because you've only a bit off the product. I mean, the product has to be paid for, so that all, like, when you do all that songs, Mike, isn't it really fantastic when it works? Isn't it really fantastic? Because if it was easy, they'd all be doing it. Do you know what I mean? Like, so when it actually does work, like down the line, and 10 years later, and you've opened up your second one, and you did it, like, you're doing it, like, you're there, you're doing it, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's brilliant. Well done.
Yeah, thanks.
You're amazing. No. You're fucking amazing. You and your brother, like, fuck me. Isn't it just brilliant?
Yeah.
I'm fucking delighted anyway, like, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't know, like, I just think that's just brilliant, like. You have 2 pharmacies now downtown, like, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, and you're such a cool guy as well, Mike, that you didn't even say, oh, we've a second one down the town. You're such an honest, I don't know what the right word is, like, but you're an amazing character around for my Mike, like, we're mad about you, sorry.
Yeah. No, you're alright.
Yeah, no, it's
good. And I suppose, look, again, it's consistent. We turned up, well, you have to turn up, but that's the thing about work, you turn up every day.
Yeah.
And there was quiet periods and you keep going, you try to think of different things. And of course, actually, do you recall, it was the coffee shop.
Yeah.
It was our little thing that our little buzz that got us going at the start.
Oh, that's right. You had the coffee shop.
In the pharmacy.
But not just a really nice kind of like a kind of what's the word?
It was organic coffee.
Organic coffee.
Yeah, we were kind of ahead of our time.
You were ahead of your time.
Yeah, and it was really, really good coffee. But the best thing I liked about that is I could invite people. I was like, come in and visit us. You know.
I fucking like it.
You know,
reason,
I liked it. Like, come in, visit us and have a cup of coffee.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
That's all.
The coffee business is the actual business of selling coffee can be a difficult business as well too. I think it can. I think, and fair play to the coffee shops in Fermoy that are still going. Yeah. They're going well. It's tough game, tough margins. Do you have to be all into it? Would you say, Mike?
I think so. Do you think passionate about it? One bag coffee. You know, I mean, it's like coffee. Like, you can buy the best machine. You can buy the best coffee beans. But when it's being made, it has to be made really well. Yeah, you know,
of course.
It's a fine product, which is a good thing for good coffee makers.
Yes, but the barrister or whatever it is, the barrister needs to be trained. Yeah. And managed while they're in training. We'll say it's to that standard. The coffee needs to be. Yeah. That, you know, that because it's expensive coffee. Like, people want, and we're addicts. Like, we're coffee addicts. You know, the people who your best customers, like, are the connoisseur and the addict, the coffee addicts. Will say, like, to me, one bad coffee is like a bad pint. Like, isn't it? In a pub, you might go, days, I won't be going there.
And coffee does get like, that. People will go out of their way to drink good coffee. People will come off the motorway and drink good coffee. So it does bring people in. We kind of outgrew it, and like, you know, it was a pharmacy and its footfall built up. Then, like, we were able to work away with that, like, you know. But that's.
What's the latest running race that you did? I seen a photograph of yourself and a few of the heads around from my. Yeah. I was laughing at the photo. I didn't just get to me. I was laughing at the photo. Fucking not laughing. I was like in awe of the photograph. Okay. Like, but like there actually wasn't a pick of fat on the fucking. There was 6 of you in the photograph at the airport heading off on the trip to. Yeah. Jesus, there wasn't a pick on you. Like, you're some lean guys, like, aren't you? Jesus, lad. There was yourself, Keelan O'Connor, John Murphy. Yeah.
John O'Sullivan.
Johnny O'Sullivan and
Gary. Kirkin, Seamus. We went over to the half marathon in Seville.
In Seville?
Yeah. Seville's great. It's great being European. Yeah. And we can go to these places in Europe and just fly from Cork on a Friday and come back on a Sunday.
And you go over then, like, oh, that's amazing. Like, so you head over. You've obviously pre-entered the event, so you know you're heading over. Yeah. Maybe one of you have even done the event before.
Yeah, I think the lads did it last year. They did. Yeah. And then we were going back over. I've done the full there a couple of times. A full marathon. Like, I've never done a full marathon. Like, what does that feel like?
For us people, me and my view and our viewers.
I know it doesn't matter. It's a challenge, definitely.
Is
like
it?
it's 42 kilometers. Like it's 42. I know 26 miles, but when I can work in both. But when I look at a kilometer rep and go 42 of them, it's in the deep end in terms of sport. Like a marathon is like you're in the deep end there. When you're 35k. 32 to 35k, the wheels,
and
when you do these
derelict thoughts in your head, or just are you just like, how you tell me how are you feeling there?
You're trying to check in with your body and your quad, is it quite okay, is the hamstring, you're just trying to keep going, keep the legs going, and it's like.
But you're still pushing, Mike. I mean, you're like I said, you're not a fun runner. You're still pushing for the best time at this stage, and you need to manage that then. With how you're feeling, you're on the clock as well. Like you're not like you're scientific in the sense that are you on the heart monitor?
I am. I had a heart rate monitor when I was 15. I went through a period of time without needing a heart rate monitor because I could kind of feel it, and now I'm back on it. I fully believe. I think it's the best way to train.
Yeah.
Time for time, you go if you're running on your own, which I have to do a lot. Yeah. You have to go out. You have to run within the ranges at specific times, spend a specific amount of time, and you'll get the most gains. But equally though, I think we can be too scientific about these things as well,
Would you be using a power meter on the bike, and would you be like analysing, would you be kind of analysing your numbers a little bit, or would you be doing that? We'll say, do you have an indoor setup like
I do.
Which is lift and stuff like that, and do you like the numbers? Do you like the numbers game in the sports?
But I do think, are we addicted to them, Are we kind of like?
I'm not. I order things, but I'm not addicted to that now at all. But are you being kind of an academic?
I have to bring myself back and go. Are we holding ourselves back with these numbers? Well? Are we on the start line going, this is all I can do? Because I think I did my best running with a Casio and just ran.
Oh, I'm here to saying, So are you thinking?
Am I on the start line and I going, could I actually go further? Am I running, looking at the watch, going, oh, I'm in the red zone now, and this.
Why don't you man mark? Like, why don't you? I said that I like.
Of course.
Cycling's different, but why don't you just like go? Well, that guy's fucking always running like such a fucking thing. Yeah. I'm gonna stick on him like
as hard as you can, and that's what you end up forgetting to.
You forget to do that because you end up going 4:21, 4:23, as per kilometre or whatever. I don't understand the times.
I think also that a lot of people leave their best running in training as well, and they come to a race, because I see Strava is brilliant because you can see how well people are running or on segments. On segments. And
I didn't know, Mike, that runners put their. I don't use Strava. But I know a lot of my cycling buddies. Most of them use Strava, but I didn't know that runners use Strava as well.
Yes, they
do. They?
Yeah.
Okay.
Massively.
Why wouldn't they? Yeah, obviously map their run.
Map your
Oh right, I never thought of it actually. I just thought it was a cycling. I thought Strava was a cycling specific almost. I didn't realise it.
So for triathletes, it's brilliant because your swim, your bike, and your run, they're all recorded.
They're all recorded.
Yeah.
And you swim as well.
Yeah.
Obviously, I never thought of that because I'm not into it. But I would have to think about it.
Yeah. So it's good like that, and then you'd see such and such ran. I don't know, a lap of Coleman's or whatever like that, and the fastest times around it, and then. Or certain segments or 5k stretch or stuff like that, and you go, geez, I could never do that in training, but but it's good. It's good. These are, they keep you I think they keep the masses motivated.
Yeah, of course.
But sometimes you can get a bit too into it. Like the Garmin went down last week. Did you come?
No, I don't. I'm not.
The blue triangle came on, and I was like, it's like. Well, just go for a run anyway, Mike. You don't. But I was still like.
IRL in real life.
I just still wanted the
data.
Yeah,
you like your data. Most guys I know who take their sport serious really take their data serious and they're into the data, because there's a lot of work that you can look at the numbers and it makes total sense. There's a reason to do because you can see your improvements maybe in your gains, and you can see things that you can make your small gains and along the way. But am I right? Yeah, that's it.
You can look at last year and you can see.
And it's an add-on hobby to your sport, so you've done the workout and you put in the work, and then another add-on hobby then is that you can sit in your office or in the sitting room afterwards and look at your numbers and look at what you did. If you know, so it can be an add-on hobby.
I know.
Maybe you're not looking for any more add-ons. You're busy enough. Look at the focus. You look at the. You're so busy. Like you do it. Like I'll leave you go now because you're. But how do you like? You're really good. Like I don't know. I don't know. Sorry, it's not a question. It's just me saying like I don't know how you do it. Manage all that stuff, and at the top of the list then. Most importantly, if you're anything else, is being a great family man, and that I know that you're a great family guy. You have a lovely family, and you spend all the time in the world with them, like, and that they're top of your top of your pops, top of your list, aren't they? They're number one. They're number one. Your number one fans. Your number one people. Yeah. Whatever you're doing, Mike, I really wanted to keep doing it because you're looking fantastic, and I really appreciate you coming in.
Thanks, Mike.
To talk to me and to our viewers and leaving our viewers kind of. We'll say kind of get a little insight into you, and fantastic, and thank you very much for watching and for tuning in, and we'd like to wish you back again there next week, and thanks very much for watching. God bless.